As you can hear, spring is definitely in the air today. I think it really does feel like spring, and there you can see the daffodils are now coming up. That is now a live view, and also you can hear the live sound as well in the garden. The birds are singing. Everyone feels happy today because the sun is also out and everyone is feeling rather nice. I hope you are feeling super duper as well. Here we are again. Yes, it is another day of 28 days of February, and this is day 25. How are you today? Olay! I hope you are feeling super duper. Yes, here we are again. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I really hope you are feeling good. We have made it to another day of this thing we call life. Thank you very much for your company yesterday, by the way. I know it was a little bit different, but I had to rest my voice. Unfortunately, I had a very sore throat. I think all of these days of talking to you live have actually had an effect, a negative effect on my voice. So I had to make a decision. I had to decide whether I would do my live stream yesterday or not. Nearly, very nearly, I didn't. So I almost cancelled yesterday's live stream. I almost cancelled it, but I didn't. So instead, we were able to join together, enjoy some English, and also watch the traffic as well. I know some of you did not like it. You were saying, Mr. Duncan, it's so boring. Yes, Tomic, I'm looking at you. Nutty Tomic. So here I am again today, and I feel a little bit better today. My throat is much better. I gave it a nice rest. I also took some honey as well, some warm honey drink. So I drank that a few moments ago. I've also had some lovely sweets as well to soothe my throat. So I am feeling much better today. Thank you very much. And as I mentioned at the start of today's live stream, yes, outside it is rather nice. Shall we have another listen to the sounds of nature outside right now? Oh, yes. Can you hear them? The birds are very happy today. There it is, the sound of nature here in England. Hopefully tomorrow, by the way. Can I just say, tomorrow I am hoping to go outside. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed like this. I'm keeping my toes crossed. I'm keeping every part of my body crossed. If I can cross that part of my body, I have crossed it already. And in some cases, it is rather painful, to be honest with you. Ooh. There are certain parts of your body that you must never cross. You must never put them over each other. I found out the hard way. So tomorrow, hopefully outside. I'm here today. My voice is much better. Thank you very much for asking about my voice. It's okay. It is one of the problems when you use your voice often. Especially when you use it every day, it can sometimes wear out. But it's much better today. Thank you very much for that. And yes, as some of you have rightly noticed, we only have 3 more days of February, and then it's all over. March will arrive, and a new month will be upon us. Oh. Mr. Duncan, what is going to happen in March? Well, you will have to wait and see. Thank you very much for joining me. Nice to see you all here today. Oh, very interesting. Yes, the end of the week is just around the corner. Tomorrow will be Friday, which means today is Thursday. Thursday has arrived, everybody. And I hope you are having a super duper day as well. We will be doing something in a moment. On a sad note, I must say now, today, we will be playing Spot the White Van for the last time. So today we have the final Spot the White Van. And I can hear you all. You are all saying, Mr. Duncan, we are so pleased. We hate Spot the White Van. So today we will be playing Spot the White Van for the final time. It will soon be time to say goodbye to those white vans. But the big question is, what will we be looking at tomorrow? Well, hopefully, I am hoping to be outside in the garden tomorrow. And if I can get outside, and if everything is quiet, like today, it is so quiet outside today. So I'm hoping tomorrow will be just as quiet, equally as quiet outside tomorrow. I really hope so. So who was first on today's live chat? Oh, can I say hello to Finny Daya? It would appear that you are first on today's live chat. Oh, congratulations, Finny Daya. Well done. You are first here today. Very, very nice. In fact, I think that almost deserves a fancy pants. That's enough. We can't have too much excitement. We still have a long way to go in the week. Yes, I am with you tomorrow. Yes, don't worry. I didn't say that today is the last live stream. I didn't say that. Tomorrow I will be outside. However, now we are going to play the last ever Spot the White Van as we prepare to say goodbye to this much loved feature. And there it is, the view outside, live, it's sunny, it's a lovely spring-like day. It feels like spring is on the way, but I'm not going to say that, because whenever I say that, the weather always turns rubbish. So did I see a white van, or was that a blue van? I think that was a blue van, wasn't it? I don't think that was a white van, that was a blue van. Oh, yes. Was that a white van? I think it was. Oh, well, that was quick. Okay, we will wait for one more white van, and then that's it. There will be no more Spot the White Van. There will be no more. It will be finished forever. And I'm sure a lot of you are really looking forward to seeing the end of Spot the White Van. So not far off. Yes, I know that there is a white van in the corner of the screen. That is a guide, you see. That is a guide. So you can spot the white van more easily. Mr. Duncan, we know what a white van looks like. What are you saying? So all we're waiting for now is another white van, and then we can say goodbye to this feature forever and ever. Although I must admit, the view today is rather nice. I'm rather enjoying it, to be honest. All we need now is another white van. Of course, at this time of the day, many people are taking a rest. They are taking a break. Maybe the delivery drivers have been working since 5 o'clock this morning. So some of them are probably taking a rest at the moment. Maybe we should have some nature sounds as well. Oh, that's a big lorry. I don't know what that's containing. I wonder what's in there. Oh, I think, yes. Was that a white van? I think we had a white van and also a blue van as well. And there is another white van. So that's it. And another. Oh my goodness. I don't know why. You wait for 5 minutes for a white van to come along and then you get 3 at the same time. So that's it. We have spotted the white van, and that is it for the white vans. We will not be spotting any more. So I think we can safely say that we have found at least 5 white vans today. Goodbye, white vans. Goodbye. It's rather sad, to be honest. Goodbye, white vans. I'll never forget you. And they've gone. That's it. No more. Spot the white van. So tomorrow we are outside, and hopefully also on Saturday we will also be outside also. I'm really hoping so anyway. Thank you very much for your lovely messages. So many messages. Yes, we had 3 white vans at the same time today. I know, it's amazing. And I think that is a good way to end that little contest. I think so. Today, what are we talking about? Well, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, I'm loving your messages, by the way. I'm reading your messages at the same time as talking to you. So sometimes I get very distracted by the messages on the screen. Ooh, interesting. So yesterday I had to make a decision. I was not sure yesterday if I should do my live stream or not, because my throat was really painful and uncomfortable. So I had to make a decision. And today, that is exactly what we are talking about. So I suppose the first question I should ask you today is, have you ever been forced to make a decision? So you have to make a decision. Quite often in life, decisions are small things. Sometimes a decision is something that might make a very small change. You have to decide on a small thing. Perhaps you have to decide what to eat. What shall I eat for my tea? What shall I eat for my dinner? So sometimes you do have to make choices. You have to make decisions. And today we are talking all about that. Oh, you just missed a helicopter. A helicopter just went right past on the live van view. We missed that. You see, we missed the helicopter going by. That was rather dramatic. Unfortunately, only I could see it. So quite often we have to make decisions in our lives. We have to make big decisions. We sometimes have to make choices as well. So quite often when we say decision, we are talking about a choice. Maybe you have to choose what to eat. Maybe you have to decide or choose what to wear. However, sometimes in your life you have to make big decisions. Have you ever been forced to make a decision? Maybe you have to choose between 2 people. Perhaps you are a boss running a company and there are 2 people who want a promotion. But you have to choose just one of them. So you might say that that is a very hard decision to make. It is a very tough decision. So some decisions are not easy to make. Some decisions are hard to make. They are hard to decide. Ricardo is here. Hello, Ricardo. Nice to see you here. This world pushes us every day into problematic decisions. Yes, I must be honest with you. I do not envy all of those people with power and responsibility. Anyone with lots of power and responsibility, I do not envy the decisions that they have to make almost every day. So imagine that. Imagine if you have to make decisions that will change the lives of thousands, maybe even millions of people. Imagine that. I think the stress of making lots of big decisions can actually have a negative effect on your life. I think so. I think it can cause certain types of anxiety. Hello, Sora. Sora Hamasha says, decision making is making me stressed. So if you have to make an important decision, sometimes a decision can be trivial, small, unimportant, something you have to decide, but it won't have any big consequences. So quite often when we talk about making decisions, there is always something you decide, and quite often there is also a consequence to that decision. So quite often you might imagine, or you might think, that small decisions have small consequences. Big decisions have big consequences. I think it's fair to say. Sandra says, oh, thank you, Sandra. Mr. Duncan, it is your most important decision is to take care of your voice. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. My voice is much better today. It still feels a little bit rough, but that's because I've been using it too much. However, 3 days and then I can have a little rest. I will be able to rest my voice because our 28 days of February will come to an end on Sunday. We have to decide, oh yes, well I suppose the situation that is going on at the moment in the world, and I'm sure you don't need me to tell you what it is because we all know what it is, the thing that is happening. So I suppose there are decisions that might save lives, decisions that might help people live. It's incredible. So sometimes decisions can literally be life or death. And sometimes in life you have to make life or death decisions. Maybe you have to decide whether to have a certain operation. Maybe you have to go into hospital for some surgery. Maybe there is something wrong with a part of your body. So you have to make a decision. And sometimes that type of decision can be life or death. A moment of time, a decision that can change your life or maybe someone else's life. I think so. Hello to Palmyra. Oh, we also have Pedro Belmont. Every day we are forced to make decisions. I think these days especially, quite often we have to decide, I don't know, maybe what to do. Maybe you find yourself in a situation where you have lots of time on your hands and you don't know what to do with yourself. What do I do? Sometimes you have to decide, you have to make a decision. Maybe you have to decide whether you go out for a walk or stay in the house. So quite often decisions are based on something you will do. Maybe something you will do in the future. Maybe something you will do in a few moments. Immediately. So you can decide to do something in the future, or you can decide to do something right now. Hello, Marietta. Sometimes I make decisions, but I do not continue. But now I have decided to learn English with you. Thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say. I can't read your name because it is in Arabic, but can I say hello to you? And I think sometimes decisions can put you on another path. So you follow another direction or a different direction in your life. So sometimes a decision can be life-changing. You are changing your outcome. You are changing what happens next in your life. So yes, I think you're right. Hello, Flower Espoir. For me, one of my hardest decisions was when I had to choose between two men. Oh dear. You see? When we talk about affairs of the heart, we are talking about love, looking for love, finding love, choosing the right lover. I think so. Yes. Sometimes you have to follow my heart or follow your heart. Flower Espoir says, I had to choose between two men. And I had to decide and follow my heart, knowing that I will live with problems, or to have peace in my mind. Thank you, Flower. Well, any decision, small or large. Now, I would say choosing the right partner to spend your life with is a big decision. I would say, definitely. Luis Mendez. Hello, Luis. Oh, Luis Mendez is here today. Thank you very much. Hiroko is here as well. Hiroko says, any way the wind blows, nothing really matters to me. That sounds like the line from a song. I think it is. Yes, a song by Queen. Any way the wind blows, nothing really matters to me. Oh. I'm just watching the sheep running around in the distance. I'm very distracted by my camera today because there's lots of things happening in front of me, right in front of me. And the sad thing is you can't see it. But I can. Because no one wants to spot the white van. I know. So I have made a decision. I have decided not to play Spot the White Van ever again. It will never happen again, I promise. Hello, Raja. Oh, I am Raja from Iraq. Thank you very much, and I'm very pleased to see you here. Thank you for making the decision. You have made your choice to improve and hopefully learn the English language. Very nice. Thank you for joining me here. Leah Garcia says, my grandma always decides, should I put a hat on or should I not wear a hat? Should I wear a hat today or should I not wear a hat? So sometimes we ask the question to ourselves. It is common for us to make a decision. Quite often we will ask questions to ourselves. What should I do? What shall I do today? What shall I do? Shall I go for a walk or shall I stay at home? What shall I have to eat? Oh my goodness. Everything's going on in front of me. Okay, I'm going to change my screen in front of me because there are all sorts of things happening outside on my camera. And it's very distracting. And I think it's very unfair to leave you out. Flower says, I think this is in response to what I said a few moments ago. Yes, it is hard to make a decision, but love sometimes is not sufficient to choose your partner. Sometimes it involves other things. I'm very curious to find out what you mean by that. What do you mean by that? Well, I think most people find when they meet someone, quite often the first thing they feel is attraction. So quite often your eyes are telling you, oh, hello. Hello, you're nice. Ooh, yes. And then after that, if you have the courage, if you make the decision to ask that person to date you, to go out together somewhere nice, and then slowly you get to know each other. So you can have love at first sight. I personally don't believe in love at first sight. However, I do believe that it is possible to meet someone for the first time and actually feel as if you've always known them. To feel as if you've always had them somewhere in your life. So that's the feeling I had when I met Steve, you see. Mr. Steve. When I met Steve, it felt as if I had always known him in my life. Very strange. So it can happen sometimes. Shura Hamasha says, I am thinking about drawing your face. Do you mean me? Are you going to draw my face? My next question is why? Why do you want to draw my face? Hello, Wilson. Oh, hello, Wilson. I have not seen you for a long time. Thank you, Wilson. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Have you ever seen the fish and chip van around your area? When I was a child, and this is not a word of a lie, when I was a child, we used to have a fish and chip van. So inside the van, there would be a man, and he would be frying his chips and also frying some fish. And then he would drive to the front of your house, and he would sound his horn, beep, 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 beep. And then we would know that the fish and chip man had arrived. Yeah, Mum, can we have some fish and chips? So yes, we used to, not anymore. You don't see them anymore, but we used to. We used to have the fish and chip van. It used to stop outside our house. We also used to have a bread van as well. There used to be a bread van who would deliver bread to your house every day. And also there would be the ice cream van as well. Oh, now that is one thing I am really looking forward to. I am looking forward to the ice cream van going by my house. I really can't wait. Now, I did have an ice cream van, but I can't find it. Where is my ice cream van? I don't know what's happening at the moment. I keep finding things and then I lose them again, and I don't know how that's possible. I used to have a little ice cream van that would come past, but now I can't find it. Where has it gone? It's not fair. It's not this, is it? Is it this? No, it's not that one. I should not press buttons unless I know what they are for. So that definitely isn't it. Very strange. I wonder what's happened to my ice cream van. I'm going to try and find it, because it's really annoying me now. Where is the ice cream van? I want an ice cream. Oh, there it is. I found it. So here is the ice cream van that is going to go by. And when I was a child, I would always wait patiently to find some money, or maybe I would ask my mother for some money, and then I would run outside because I could hear the ice cream man was coming around the corner. Yeah! Was it worth the wait? Are you happy now that I did that? Has it really made a difference to today's live stream? I don't think so. I really don't. Yes, Marietta says we still have the bread van in our area. And quite often in the rural areas, the baker will come every day. You are very lucky. I wish. I would love to have my bread delivered every day, but unfortunately around here we don't do it. We don't do it. Tomek is saying, why do you cherry pick the comments? I don't cherry pick them. It's just that my screen, everything is always moving, you see. Luis Mendez is talking about the virus. How many emojis did you buy? Well, I have enough of these to put on my hat for 28 days. So I hope that answers your question. Mr. Duncan, you act like a child. Do I really? Maruts Sroka says that. Thank you very much. I miss the ice cream man. We don't get the ice cream van around here, unfortunately, because I live in the countryside. We don't have any vans. Well, we have lots of white vans, but no ice cream van, unfortunately. So today we are talking about decisions. There are lots and lots of words that we can use when we are talking about making decisions. So that is what we are talking about for the rest of today's live stream. Making decisions and also making choices as well. Leah Garcia says, it is not cherry picking. Mr. Duncan is making decisions. It is a decision-making action. I like that. And that leads very nicely into what I'm talking about today. We are talking about making a decision. A decision is a thought that confirms a plan or course of action in the future. The fate of another person can be chosen through a decision being made. You decide something based on some sort of evaluation. Ooh. You come to a decision. You have reached a decision. You have decided. The result of a decision is the outcome or conclusion. When we talk about decisions, we are talking about a thought. So most decisions come from some type of thought, some type of thought that comes in your mind. So quite often a decision is something that we think about and then we make a choice. All of these things are done consciously. We think about them in our mind. Maybe something you have to do, maybe some place you have to go to. Perhaps you have to decide how to get somewhere. Maybe you have to go for a job interview and then you have to decide how to get there. Shall I drive? Shall I take the train? Shall I go in a taxi? So quite often there are decisions to make and we have to make them quite often. So you decide. You have to decide. You have to make a choice. You make a decision. So the word decision is actually the outcome. So you might say the decision is the result of making a choice or making a decision. So the decision is the final thing that you decide. Before making a decision, you must do certain things. So sometimes when you have a choice, so maybe you have a choice of two things or maybe many things, you have to make a choice. Before making a decision, you must evaluate. Oh, yes. You must evaluate. So quite often when you make a decision or if you are making a choice, you have to evaluate. You look at the choices that you have. What are the choices? And then you evaluate. You decide which choice is the best. You evaluate. You decide on which thing is the best choice to make. And then you can make your decision. You can work out the best course of action. If you work out the best course of action, that once again is expressing the action of making a decision. The best course of action is what will I do next? What is the best thing to do? What is the best way to approach this thing or this situation? You work out the best course of action. So this is what you do when you are trying to make a decision. I like this word. Now this is a word I used a few weeks ago, and I think I used it as well maybe last week. Ponder. I love this word. So sometimes when you have a choice to make, you have to make a decision. Sometimes you will ponder. You will think very carefully about what the decision will be. What decision should I make? What is the decision that I should make? So you ponder, you think, and then decide. You think about what to do. You think about what your next step will be. As I mentioned earlier, in life, quite often, you have to make choices that will affect your life forever. You look at the choices. As I said a few moments ago, sometimes you are forced to choose between two or more things. So what you normally do is look at the choices. It's a little bit like going for a meal in a restaurant. Quite often you will have a menu. So the menu will normally be given to you, and then you will make a decision on what to eat. So first you will look at the choices. So you will see what is on offer. You will see what the selections are. What shall I have to eat? I wonder. You look at the choices. Now this, oh yes, I like this one. Sometimes when you have to make a choice, sometimes you will weigh up the pros and cons. So in this sentence, the word pro means the good things, and the cons are the bad things, the negative things. So you are looking at both sides of the choices. What is the best thing to choose? And sometimes it's not very easy to make a choice. Sometimes you have to look at the pros and the cons. By that I mean the good things and the bad things, the positive things and the negative things. You have to weigh up weigh up. So when we say weigh up, it means you are deciding. Yes, you are weighing up. You are evaluating between those two things. Here's another one. You have to consider the benefits. And yes, I know, human beings can be very selfish. But quite often when we make a decision, when we make a choice, quite often we will think of the benefits. How will I benefit from that thing? If I choose that, what will be the benefits? What will I gain? What will I get? So even though we are quite often kind and considerate to other people, there are moments where we can be very selfish. And quite often when we make a decision or a choice, we can also be quite selfish as well. Hello to Hailey Kwang. Oh, yes. Hailey Kwang says sometimes you have to make a deal. I think so, yes. So sometimes a choice can also be making a deal with another person. Maybe you have to make a choice. Maybe another person makes you an offer, or maybe they make you two offers. Sometimes you have to make a decision, and quite often you will have to make a deal. Yes, I think you're right. What are the consequences? What are the consequences of something being decided? If you make that choice, what are the consequences? What is the result? What will happen? If I choose that thing, what will happen? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Is it the right choice or the wrong choice? So sometimes before making a decision, you have to decide what the consequences are. Because, of course, every action has a reaction. Everything we do has some sort of consequence. The consequence is the result. You have to ask yourself, is it a good decision? Am I making a good decision? Am I making the right decision? Is my decision a good decision or a bad one? Here is another one. Now I like this. I think maybe you haven't heard of this particular phrase, but this is a phrase we do use in English. You have to look at the whys and the wherefores. The whys and the wherefores. What does this mean, Mr. Duncan? The result. You are looking at the result of your decision. So the whys and the wherefores come together and they mean the result of your decision. And quite often we will use this when we are trying to find out what the choices are and whether those choices are a good choice or a bad choice. You often look at the whys and the wherefores. It's a great expression, and yes, we still use it, even though this particular word, the word wherefore, is actually old-fashioned. It's actually quite an old word. So the wherefore is the result, the outcome. Here's another one. I'm just keeping my eye on the time. I'm watching the time, you see. Ooh, yes. We have 14 minutes to go. Sometimes a decision can be easy. Sometimes a decision can be simple. Sometimes it is easy. It is an easy decision to make. So when you decide something, you make a decision. You are deciding up here. It is an easy decision to make. Of course, there is the opposite. Sometimes things can be very hard. It is a tough decision to make. Perhaps you are a boss of a company and there are two people on your list, but one of them you must fire, you must make redundant because you have too many people working for you. So one of these people has to go. You have to say goodbye to them. You have to make them redundant. So sometimes a decision can be very difficult. We quite often refer to it as a tough decision, a difficult decision. It is a tough decision to make. It is not easy. So a good example of that is having to choose a member of your staff, one of your employees. You have to make them redundant because you have too many people working for you. So you might say that that is a very tough decision. It is a decision that is not easy to make. Then we have, of course, as I mentioned earlier, we have the outcome of a decision, the result of a decision. So before you make a decision, you think, and then afterwards you will find out what the result of your decision is. So quite often there are two outcomes, good and bad. You might have a good outcome or a bad outcome. The result can be positive or negative. Sometimes we do make decisions. Sometimes we make bad decisions. The result of a decision can be described as the upshot. The upshot of a decision is the result. It is the upshot. The upshot of a decision is the result. Have you ever heard of that before? Have you heard of that word before, the upshot? The upshot. We could also say the conclusion of something as well. The conclusion of a decision, the conclusion is the result, the outcome, the upshot, the result. Now this is an interesting word. The verdict of the thing that you have been trying to decide on. So sometimes the verdict can be the decision. You are saying the thing that you have decided upon, the verdict. Maybe you are deciding whether or not to employ someone in your company. You have to decide whether to choose that person or not. What is the verdict? What is your decision? Also in a court trial, if a person is on trial for a serious crime, a group of people will come together and then they will decide what the verdict is. They will make a decision based on the evidence that they've heard. We also have the choice made. So the choice made is basically the thing that has been decided. Your decision is the choice made. The choice you made is the decision. You have had to make a choice, then you make a decision, and that is the choice that you have made. You have come to a decision. Just before announcing or telling people what you have decided, you can say that you have come to a decision. Ladies and gentlemen, I have come to a decision. I have decided that there will be no Spot the White van ever again. It's finished. It's ended. So I have come to a decision. I have decided. That is my decision. My decision is to never play Spot the White Van ever again. A decision has been made. I have made my decision. I have made my choice. My choice is final. So when you say that your decision is final, it means it cannot be changed. I will not change my decision. I will not change my mind. That is it. I will not be changing my decision or anything. That is my choice, my decision, and that is my final decision. I will not be changing my mind. Then, well, sometimes it is hard, very hard to make a decision. It is very hard to make a choice. So sometimes we like to put off making a final decision. Sometimes we put off things. Oh, I don't want to make a decision today. I will think about it and then I will tell you tomorrow. Is that a good idea? So I don't want to tell you today what my decision is. I don't want to tell you. I just don't, because I can't decide. Or maybe you don't want to decide. Maybe you just don't want to do it at all. I don't want to decide. I'm going to put off making a decision. If you put off something, it means you delay, you postpone, you make something continue. To carry on is to put off. So I am deciding to put off my decision. I have decided that I won't give you a decision today. I put off something. So if you put off something, it means you delay. You put it off until another time. Oh, I love this word, by the way. This word is one of my favourite words in English. You procrastinate. To procrastinate is to think, wait, you can't decide, you find it difficult to make a decision, you are undecided. You can't decide, you can't make up your mind. That is another way of saying decision. You make a decision, you have to make up your mind. Sometimes you can't, sometimes you don't want to. You procrastinate. A lot of people do that, me included. I do it sometimes. I know quite often there are responsibilities, there are things that I have to decide, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to. I want to delay that thing. I want to put it off. I can't make up my mind. I procrastinate. You might have a tough choice to make. Sometimes in life there are very tough choices. As I said earlier on in my live stream, there are a lot of choices that have to be made in life on a daily basis. Quite often every day you have to make choices and decisions. Sometimes you don't even realize it. Maybe you have to put your socks on in the morning and you choose your socks. But maybe you do it without even thinking. So it is possible sometimes to make choices and decisions without even thinking about it. It can happen sometimes, especially if it is part of your routine. If you are in your routine of doing the same thing, sometimes your choices or your decisions can be made very quickly without any problems. To put something off, to delay or postpone. So if you have a tough choice, it means you have to make a decision which is very hard to decide. You have a choice. You have two choices, but the decision is not easy. It's not easy. It is not an easy decision to make because you have a tough choice. In English, there is an expression that we can use when you have a very tough choice or a very difficult decision to make. We can say that you are stuck between a rock and a hard place. I love this. So imagine yourself stuck between a rock and a hard place, and you are in the middle. You are in between. You don't know which way to go because both of the choices are very difficult to make. You are stuck between a rock and a hard place. The decision is not easy. It is very hard to make that decision. It is not easy to make. And, well, guess what? That is it for today. To be stuck between a rock and a hard place. If you have to make a decision that is not easy to decide on, you can find yourself stuck between a rock and a hard place. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. That was day number 25 of February. Over with. It is done. It is finished. But I will see you tomorrow, hopefully outside. I am really hoping, I am keeping my fingers crossed that tomorrow we will be outside enjoying nature, enjoying the birds' song, and hopefully also enjoying the sunshine, because apparently the weather tomorrow is going to be really nice. We will have one last listen to the sounds of nature outside. I think the birds have fallen asleep. I think they've all gone to sleep. Belarusia, thank you very much for your lovely comment. I enjoyed this lesson very much. Thank you very much for all of your lovely messages. And I will see you tomorrow, because tomorrow is Friday and I will be outside, hopefully. So there are two things that I have to decide. I have to decide if I should go outside tomorrow, and also I have to decide what I'm going to talk about tomorrow as well. So actually I have two decisions that I now have to make between now and tomorrow's live stream. Thank you for your company. I hope you've enjoyed today's live chat. Thank you for being with me. And yes, I hope tomorrow we will enjoy some more of the lovely sounds of nature. And of course, until the next time we meet here, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like this. Please give me a lovely thumb. Don't forget also you can watch this live stream again later on YouTube. Hopefully also there will be captions later on as well. There will be captions. And of course, until tomorrow, 2 p.m. UK time, hopefully outdoors. And I'm also hoping it's not too noisy. You know what's coming next. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thank you so much for watching me today. And of course, you know what's coming next. Ta-ta for now.